Hello YouTube, I am back for another pregnancy update. My last update was when I was like 16 or 17 weeks, I believe. I am now currently 25 and a half weeks pregnant. I can't believe it. I've already tried to film this once, but I was trying to film it during the day when my toddler was awake. For anyone who doesn't know, I am pregnant with our second child. Our first little girl was conceived through IVF. We had to do 2 rounds of IVF. We got pregnant on the second round with twins. We lost, unfortunately, one of the babies at 8 weeks, but I had a full-term healthy pregnancy with our little girl. And she was born January of 2017, and then in March of 2018, earlier this year, we got pregnant on our own. That ended in a chemical pregnancy. I got pregnant again in April. That ended in a chemical pregnancy as well. And at the end of May, beginning of June, we got pregnant again with this baby, this little baby boy. And everything so far has been great. We totally credit our like miracle pregnancies this year to keto. My husband and I both started, sorry, my cat is walking by. My husband and I both started, oh my gosh, go on, keto in January of 2018. My husband lost 45 pounds, I lost 35 pounds. But that aside, like the weight loss aside, like it must have just done something for our fertility, our hormones. We had male factor infertility, which is why we had to do IVF in the first place. We had 0% morphology. My husband's sperm could not penetrate an egg, hence why we did IVF with ICSI twice. So now I'm pregnant with our miracle little boy, who is due at the beginning of February of next year, and we are beyond excited. I should have like written down things that I want to talk about or that has happened in the last 10 weeks, but I didn't. I'm just gonna try to pump this out. It's like 9:30 at night, which is why the lighting is so horrible. Again, my cat is here trying to get some like lovin' from me, and the dogs are over here, so hopefully they won't be too distracting. First off, I am feeling great. My morning sickness was a lot worse with this pregnancy than it was with my first one. And it lasted until about 15 or 16 weeks, and then I haven't been sick since. My migraines, I get migraines pretty bad with my pregnancies. With my first pregnancy, they pretty much stopped completely at like 11 or 12 weeks, and then I maybe had 1 or 2 the rest of my entire pregnancy. This time around, they seem to have continued. They're not 2 or 3 times a week like they are in the first trimester, but they kind of have trickled down to like once a week, and then once every other week, and now we're down to about like once a month. I actually, knock on wood, haven't had one in probably about a month. So I'm hoping that the migraine aspect has left the building. They are, you know, I can deal with them. Oh my gosh, Prim, you're driving me crazy. I can deal with them. I do have a prescription for Furoset, which does the trick. Daisy, go lay down. But it is a category C drug, so I try not to take it if I don't absolutely have to. There has been a few times that I've gotten a migraine when I'm out in the car, you know, running errands with my daughter, and I have to pull over and like deal with it and try to get rid of it as soon as possible. But if I'm home, especially if I'm home with, you know, help, like my husband's home to help with my daughter or something like that, I will just use a ton of peppermint oil and like all over my neck and head, like so much peppermint oil that I'm cold. And then I take Tylenol and just drink as much water as I can, and that usually does the trick. Like that will really get rid of my migraines, probably just as good as the Furoset. Furoset is just quicker. It's just way fast. So I definitely always have that on hand just in case, but I try not to use it lately. I've been trying not to use it. But again, like I haven't had a migraine in a few weeks, probably a month now, and I hope that continues. Daisy. And as far as baby boy, I have a, what's it called, anterior placenta, and the doctor described my placenta as a hat. Like, here's my uterus and here's my placenta. It's a little bit in back, on top, and in front. So Daisy, shush. I was getting concerned because I couldn't feel him move yet, and I felt Emery at the end, like middle to end of my 15th week. I felt flutters and like the popcorn popping in my belly, and I did not feel that this time, and I was actually hoping to feel it a lot sooner since it was my second. That didn't happen. We went in for our general ultrasound. She told me about my placenta, and then the next day I actually felt him kick, but it was like a big kick. It wasn't like a flutter or anything like that, and I have actually never felt flutters or popcorn. Like, it's just all been like a kick or a roll or something like that. Which I did have an anterior placenta with Emery as well, but it must have just been in a different place or just not as severe. I don't know. My kicks with this baby have been, they're getting a lot stronger. Like, now I feel him all the time. I feel him in my ribs. I feel him when he was rolling. When I'm laying on my back, I'll just take videos of him kicking and moving, and it's so fun. But up until this last week, I have always felt like his movements were just like muffled or muted or whatever because of the placenta. Like, I could feel him moving, it just wasn't very strong. Although that being said, Eric felt him move at like 20 weeks. I felt like we could feel him a lot more when I put my hand on my stomach, and I could feel him more on the outside than the inside. I don't know. So it's just different. It's just weird. But this last week has just been a total, different story. I can feel him all the time, and he's very strong, and I feel the movements all the time. So it just helps. It helps with being like reassured that everything's okay. At my 24-week appointment, it was a couple days before 24 weeks, she measured my fundal height. That was the first time she's measured my fundal height, and I was measuring 6 weeks ahead. And it freaked me out. It totally freaked me out. I was worried that something was wrong. I looked up information I should not have Googled, but I did, and I always will. Like, I'm just never going to change, apparently. And I had read all this scary stuff about how it can mean there's extra amniotic fluid, or there's deformalities in the baby, or anything like that. Scared the crap out of me. I called my doctor back that day and just like needed some reassurance, and she was like, I'm not worried about it at all. At 23, 24 weeks, there can be so many things that could affect your fundal height, whether you just ate, your bladder's full, which it wasn't, where the baby's sitting, just anything. Like, it could be so many different things. So she was like, I'm not worried about it right now. Like, if at your next appointment, if you're still measuring 6 weeks ahead, then we will do an ultrasound. But she kept saying that it was just too early to do an ultrasound, and because I just had my anatomy scan, a month prior, and everything was fine, levels were fine, baby was fine, everything was good. So I think she was just saying, like, not enough time has passed for there to be much change in an ultrasound. I mean, obviously the baby would be bigger, but she wasn't worried at all. I, on the other hand, was still worried. Cried a lot. And it just scared me. I feel like we just can't have a smooth pregnancy. With Emery, we lost her twin, and then everything after that was pretty smooth as concerning, as far as like her health and everything went. And this time around, I had the subchorionic hemorrhage, and I was in the ER thinking we were having a miscarriage. Then I was on pelvic rest for 6 weeks. And then now it's like this, now this is which I don't mean to complain because everything ended up being fine with a subchorionic hemorrhage. It's gone now, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. That being said, I'm still freaking out about every little thing. So I learned how to measure my fundal height at home, which I know I'm not a doctor. I know I'm not a trained professional. I still do it. I still did it. I actually haven't measured it in like a week, or like 4 or 5 days or something. But, you know, the day of my appointment with my OB, and then the next few days after that, I measured it pretty much every morning and afternoon, and I'm fairly confident I'm doing it right. You find the top of your pelvic bone, and then you can, you know, you lay on your back, I lay on the floor, and it's really easy to feel the top of my uterus, and I measure that with a soft measuring tape in centimeters, and it actually varies from morning to night. So in the morning, my like fundal height will be like maybe just 3 weeks ahead, 4 weeks ahead, and then at night it'll only be like 2 to 3 weeks ahead. So I know it does shift throughout the day, and depending on what I've, you know, how the baby's sitting and how my body's just, or the uterus is sitting, I don't know. So I've actually calmed down about it a lot, you know, the past few days, and I'm feeling a lot better. I just need I can't wait for my next appointment, and I'm just praying that it will not be 6 weeks ahead. So anyway, that was just our little scare. We still don't really have any answers on it. We're just going with the flow and trusting the doctor and trusting God, and praying that everything is fine with our little boy, because we really want him to be okay. Obviously, don't we all? So we did order a new car seat. We could have used Emery's old car seat, but we were in a fender bender with that car seat. We were in our truck, and we were at a stop, or we were completely stopped, and the car behind us couldn't stop in time and ended up tapping the back of the truck. So really, it probably is safe. We just didn't want to risk it, because you know, obviously car seat manufacturer, it just says no matter what accident it's in, whether the baby's in it or not, to just get rid of the car seat and not use it again. So we did end up buying a new car seat. It's the same one that we have for Emery. It's a Chico KeyFit 30. We ended up getting it for an amazing deal, because they discontinued the like design of the car seat, but it's the exact same car seat, and we got it for like $70 less. So super stoked about that. And then you can really tell that like this is baby number 2, and it's not that we aren't excited. We're so beyond excited. But this time in my pregnancy with Emery, we had her nursery set up, the crib was set up, the dresser was in there, the room was painted, everything. This time around, we have nothing set up. I did buy a new glider for our room, because we use the rocking chair in Emery's room every single day. There's no way we could, there's no way we could take it out of her room and put it in our room, because the baby will be in our room for at least the first 6 months, just like Emery was. And so I did get a new glider. I got it secondhand for like $12, and it's in great shape, and I cleaned the cushions and everything, and it's good to go. We will be getting a new bassinet, because we borrowed one last time, and I just want to get our own to have this time around. And then, so we have decided that the babies, I guess Emery won't be really a baby, but Emery and this little boy are going to share a room when he gets here. But that's why we really haven't set anything up, because I don't really want to set up a crib in her room for him right now, or even when he gets here, because he won't be in there for at least 6 months. The way our house is set up, it's a rambler. Our room is on one side of the house, and their room is on the complete opposite side of the house. That's why it took us so long to get Emery in her own room. She was just too far away, and with breastfeeding and getting up throughout the night, it just wasn't worth it. And you know, they're so little, and so I just know he's going to be in our room for a long time, so there's just no point crowding that room when I know he's not going to be in there until like July at the earliest. I mean, when he comes, maybe things will be different. I don't know. We'll just cross that bridge when we get there. But so far, her room is staying the exact same. I've just cleaned out half of her dresser for his stuff. And the only other thing we're really going to do is clean out her closet a little bit more, just for more of like his stuff and diapers and stuff like that. But we're not really going to like be changing much. We do have another bedroom up across the hall from Emery's room, but we use that for my office. I do work from home, and that is completely set up with, you know, Emery's play area for when I'm working, and my desk and my filing cabinet and my, you know, all of my work stuff. And so I just really didn't want to move my office downstairs and be up and down a full flight of stairs throughout the day with two babies, or two kids. So we decided to let's just have them share a room, keep my office where it's at for now, and yeah, so that's what we're doing. We probably will redecorate a little bit because it's all cowgirl stuff in her room, and she has pink blinds and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't think he'll really care. I mean, Emery is just barely starting to care about the horse stuff in her room. And anyway, that just shows you the difference. Like, we're so excited for his arrival. We're just not, I guess, caring about the little details as much. When I'm looking at bassinets right now, I'm really trying to decide which ones to get. If you have any recommendations, bring them my way. But I know I just want one that glides, and I don't want one with all the like frilly ruffles and stuff around it. I just want a basic bassinet that's big enough for him to be in for like 6 months, but that will like glide or rock or something, because I used that a lot with Emery with the bassinet we had with her. It rocked, and that helped a lot. So I don't know, I'm trying to figure that part out. But other than that, everything seems to be great. I love feeling him move so much. He's super active in the morning and at night. He's pretty quiet throughout the day. I'm sure because he's sleeping and whatnot, but I'm still getting up to pee like 2 or 3 times in the night. If I could just stop drinking water at like 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, that would really help. But I get so thirsty, I can't. So I'm just still waking up, which is fine, because I can go right back to sleep. I do have my big pregnancy pillow, which is like a necessity for me. My shoulders, my upper back, and my lower back is in a lot of pain, so most nights I go to bed with the heating pad on, with the timer on it, and that's like the only way I can get to sleep, because that's the only way that will like soothe my pain. I do go to a chiropractor, and that helps a ton, and I'm due to go in. I really wanted to go in this last week, but they were out of the office, so but the chiropractor does help a ton with my back pain and shoulder pain. But yeah, other than that, I think that is quite long enough for an update. I will try to do a belly shot real quick. I feel huge, but like I said, I'm measuring super. Okay, yeah. This is my 25.5-week bump. It's large and in charge. There's my kitty. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.